and over in different places in the world. We'll have percussion to begin with. Kevin Ramirez is joining me on percussion. And the idea here is to sing. Okay? We'll do a lot of nigunim. We'll just start with lai lai lai. Those words are very easy, I hope. So, we're going to start with Yedid Nefesh, which we don't usually do, on page 10. Okay. Die, 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 die. Try it. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die.
We can't get down to the words till you know the melodies. We want to hear you.
Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Yada die 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 die, yada die 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 die, yada die 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 die, yada 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 die 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 die. Here we go, page 10 and 11. Actually, it's in red, it's in transliteration. Yedid nefesh av harachama mishochav el retzonach yarutz avdach kimo Let me hear you. La la la. Yada la 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 la la. Yada la 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 la. Die, 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 die. Hador na'er ziv ha'olam nafshi cholat avatata ana el na refana no one ziva as he תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לך שפעת עולם.
This part of the service is called Kabbalat Shabbat. Kabbalat Shabbat means welcoming in the Shabbat. In mystical terms, this is from the mystics. And I want you to imagine that they could not, the Shabbat was not allowed to come in until you had enough spirituality and enough sense of love and welcoming the Shabbat bride that she was going to come. Right? They really believed that without feeling it, she was not going to be here to bring in Shabbat. And so with the melodies we're using tonight, some of them are by a group called Nava Tehillah. There's others. These are, by the way, the latest, believe it or not, melodies being used around the world, actually, in Israel and here. This spiritual mode of trying to feel that sanctity and holiness. So I want you to believe that it depends upon you whether Shabbat's going to come. All right? If not, I just want to tell you, tonight dinner won't taste as good as it should. Right? Because when it comes to Shabbat, the reason that the meal tastes so good is because it is Shabbat. That's what transforms that meal and makes it so special. So I want you to imagine that without your voices, without you engaging these melodies of Kabbalat Shabbat, Shabbat really won't arrive. We're going to continue now on page 13. Or is that cause where we're going?
We're going to Lechunu Rana.
Oh, page 11.
11, and we can also have the, in the red, on the opposite side, is the transliteration. So this is kind of a blues. This is a Nava Tehillah melody, and it goes like this. Lechune ranana ladonai, naria litzur yishenu. Try it. Lechune ranana ladonai, naria litzur yishenu. One more time. Lechune ranana ladonai, naria litzur yishenu. Lechune ranana ladonai, naria litzur yishenu. Nekadma fana b'toda bizmirot naria lo. Nekadma fana b'toda bizmirot naria lo. Nekadma fana b'toda bizmirot naria lo. Here we go, Lechune Rana. Lechune Rana ladonai, naria litzur yishenu. Lechune Rana ladonai, naria litzur yishenu. Just you guys, here we go. Lechune Rana ladonai, naria litzur yishenu. Try it. Lechune Rana ladonai, naria litzur yishenu. Again. Lechune ranena ladonai, naria litzur yishenu. Nekadma fana b'toda bizmirot naria lo. Nekadma fana b'toda bizmirot naria lo. Nekadma, one more time. Nekadma, vana betoda, bizmirot narialo. Lechu neranena ladonai, naria letzor yishenu. Lechu neranena ladonai, naria letzor yishenu. Again, lechu neranena ladonai, naria letzor yishenu. Lechu neranena ladonai, naria letzor yishenu. Lechu neranena ladonai, naria letzor yishenu.
Page 13. Shiru Ladonai, sing a song unto God.
We'll start with the nigun. All right, get those muscles working. All right, maybe I should make you stand up, do jumping jacks. Yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, 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 yallai, 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 lai, 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 yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, 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 yallai, 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 lai, 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 yallai, 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 lai, 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 yallai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basru miyom leyom, Yeshuato, Sapru v'goyim kivodo, B'chol ha'amim liflotav, Ki gadol Adonai, Umrulal me'od, Norahu, Al kol Elohim. Ay, 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 yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, 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 lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, 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 lalai, lai, yalai, yalai, lalai, lalai, lai, lalai, lalai, yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai, Page 14, Yismechu in the Yismechu Hashamai V'Tagel Haaretz Yam Hayam Umelo Yalo Sadai V'Chol Asher Bo Az Yiranenu Kol Atzei Ya'ar Lifnei Adonai Kiva Lishbot Haaretz Yishbot Hevel B'tzedek v'amin b'emunato. Ay, 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 yalai, yalai, yalai,
Come on.
yalai, 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 just you. Lie, 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 lie. Yai, yai, lie, lie, lie. Yai, lie, lie, lie. Yai, lie, lie, lie. Ay, ay. Ya, lie, 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 lie. Ya, lie, 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 lie. Ya, lie, 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 lie. Ya, lie, lie, ya, lie, lie. Ya, lie, 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 ya, lie, lie.
Page 16.
Yes. Or Zarua. This is a song actually written by my son. Actually, it was written by David, King David, a long time ago, but this is a melody that he wrote for it.
It's fourth line from the bottom. We're starting to
Yes.
So
Okay.
fourth line on the Hebrew and on the left-hand side in the transliteration as well.
And there's a part for you in here. Be the righteous one. Try it. 2, 3, 4. Be the righteous one. That's your part. Be the righteous one. Good. Or Zarua la 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 tzaddik. Try it with me. Or Zarua la 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 tzaddik. One more time. Or Zarua la 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 tzaddik. Yisrael lev simcha, Yisrael lev simcha, Yisrael lev simcha. Live a life of goodness, be the righteous one. Let's try that again. Live a life of goodness, be the righteous one. Live a life of kindness, be the righteous one. Live a life of kindness, be the righteous one. Live a life of holiness, be the righteous one. And let your heart shine out. Or Zarua la 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 tzaddik. Or Zarua la 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 tzaddik. Live a life of goodness, be the righteous one. Live a life of kindness, be the righteous one. Live a life of holiness, be the righteous one. And let your heart shine out. Or Zarua la 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 tzaddik. Or Zarua la 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 tzaddik.
Page 20, the third line from the bottom of the Hebrew, and the left-hand side as well in the transliteration, third line from the bottom.
Lai, lai, lai. Lai, 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 lai. Come on, you know it. Lai, 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 lai. Lie, 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 lie. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Oh, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu. קודשו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו.
So now it's time to officially greet the Shabbat bride. Now that we've warmed ourselves up, you really made it count for you that the Shabbat bride is arriving. So we're going to begin on page 23. We'll do the first two stanzas. And then we're going to jump to page 25. And there we're going to do the final two stanzas. Okay, so it'll be on page 24. Is it page 24 actually? No, page 25. And then 25, correct. Yeah. So it'll be that second stanza on page 25, and then the third one, but we've shown them at that time. We'll rise together, we'll move, we'll face towards the door, and then we'll bow in the final words, welcoming officially the Shabbat bride into our presence. We begin page 23 with the Chadodi.
Die 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 לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונרחקים מקור הברכה מראש מקד נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת
Yamin is small now or no?
לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת
Now page 25.
לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה היי לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה לחדודי לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה יא לי לה 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 יא לי לה 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 יא לי לה לה יא לה 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 יא לי לה לה לה
seated. We're going to make a transition now and just take a short break of an introduction between that Kabbalat Shabbat, between welcoming the Shabbat. And for those of you who came a little bit earlier on in the service, I said that the mystics really believed that it was on their kavanah, their spirituality, that would actually bring in the Shabbat bride or not. It was up to us tonight. And so we're experimenting with this new type of service. The second part of Mariv is going to feel very similar to you in terms of what we've done in the past. We wanted to bring a different feeling about this Kabbalat Shabbat. Some of the newest melodies are being used around the world to create the spirituality. Nighttime, any of you bother to look at the moon tonight? Did you see what it looked like tonight? It's a beautiful full moon, wasn't it? Absolutely magnificent. And the ancient people were always in touch with the celestial bodies. I mean, you can imagine to them to be able to see the stars, the constellations, that was a sense of holiness. They really felt the presence, if you will, of God in the world. And in the evening, on page 39a, we have this blessing, and it acknowledges about bringing on the evening, right? The blessing at the end of that paragraph, Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim, blessed art thou, our Lord our God, who brings on, Hama'ariv Erev, who brings on the evening. The idea that evening comes. By the way, if you don't know this, in the ancient world, even today, aren't people afraid at night? I don't know about you, I was always terrified of night. Right? I was always like so afraid, especially to be at home alone. Right? There's something about night. If you've ever wondered, by the way, why the evening service is unique in the sense of the Amidah. It's the only service you've never thought about that we don't do it aloud together, the Amidah. It's only silent. Now, why? According to one rabbinic tradition, it says because it was modeled after the services, after what took place in the temple, and that the morning and afternoon ones were requirements, and the evening one, right, it was like that they would burn off the extra leftovers, if you will, of the day. And so they give that explanation. But the explanation that I adhere to is that people were so nervous to leave and to go out at night that the rabbis didn't want to make it an obligatory prayer. Isn't that something? Like they understood that people were nervous about going out. In the morning, by the way, it's a very different, Hazan, right? It's a different blessing that we do. And it's really quite exceptional because the rabbis changed the wording of the Bible. They literally changed the words of the Bible because they wanted to convey a different message. And it comes from Isaiah. And it goes like this, Yotzer or uvarei choshech, right? God, Yotzer, creates light, uvarei choshech, and creates dark. Oseh shalom, what does oseh make? To make shalom, what's shalom? Peace. Uvorei, you know, from the Breshit, borei means to create. Now, in the morning service, they say, uvorei et hakol, and who creates everything. But the real quote from Isaiah is, uvorei ra, who creates evil. Right? God who creates light and dark, good and evil. I mean, does God create evil? It's a little scary, but if God creates good, doesn't God create? I mean, it's, right? And by the way, there are blessings you recite even when bad things happen to you. So what is this about that the rabbis want to say who really blesses everything? Because there were some who took those words, right? They wanted to separate what's called dualism, right? That there were different forces at work. There was a force of goodness and a force of evil. And that's how you experience life in the world. That's what conflict was about, these two forces that were at work. In the ancient world, by the way, you ever heard of the origin of Zoroastrianism? Yes, in the Middle East, right? It grows up in the Iranian area. And for about 3,000 years ago, till about the 5th, 6th, 7th centuries, very strong. With the Muslim conquest, they are oppressed. And by the way, if you don't know, there are still adherents to Zoroastrianism today who are oppressed in Iran. Right? And you know this coming from Iran, right? Right? In terms of the Jewish people and Zoroastrians, probably even worse, because they see them as a desecration, if you will, of God's image. And the idea is to acknowledge that there is wholeness, that there is harmony, that everything is at work, and there's one force, not conflicting forces at work. I've taught this before, but you know, in Greek mythology, you have all those gods that are at war. Right? Asia, did you learn about Greek mythology yet? Right? Have you learned about it yet? Right? All these gods that are at war. Well, what does it mean? It means humanity mirrors what happens in the heavens. And if they're at war and in conflict, we should be also. That's a natural state. Judaism changes that all around. It says, no, there's harmony in the universe, and there should be harmony here as well. That is a transformational kind of philosophy, if you will. We're going to turn now to our Mariv service. We're going to officially welcome this community together. We're going to rise together, page 39a, for the Baruch. Please rise.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch hu et Adonai Hamevorach together Baruch Baruch Adonai Hamorach Le'olam Va'ed Lai 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 Ya la lai lai ya la la lai ya la lai lai la 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 lai Ai la lai lai ya la la lai ya la lai lai la 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 ay la 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 ya la 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 la
You may be seated. Continuing at the end of this prayer, page 40.
Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim
Amen.
Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nege yomam b'layla Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam b'layla Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam b'layla Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam b'layla Ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam b'layla Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam b'layla Ve'vatecha al tasir mimenu la'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael
The Shema on page 41. If you don't know, we recite the words of the Shema aloud, that first line, and then we do the next line. If you've ever noticed this, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed, in a silent voice. And then we continue with Ve'ahavta. And it's related to this week's portion. There's a midrash. It's the end of the life of Jacob. Remember, Jacob and his sons, the whole family, everybody's down in Egypt, and Jacob is about to die. He's on his deathbed, and he's so afraid that his children, his grandchildren, that they're going to forget about the God of the Israelites, that they're going to assimilate into the culture around. Sound like fears like we might have in today's world, right, to hear? And so what happens, he shares with his children the fears that he has, and they respond together. Shema Yisrael, listen, Israel. Remember, that was Jacob's name. Change to Israel. Listen, Israel. Listen, Dad. Adonai Eloheinu. The Lord is our God. Adonai Echad. The Lord is one. And according to this midrash, his final words as he passed away were Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blesses God's name forever and ever, knowing that the future generations would be connected to the Jewish tradition. It's a beautiful image of the Shema. I invite you to close your eyes for the first line, then we'll recite the second one silently and then continue.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
We continue silently.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Page 44.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh Nora Tehilot Osefeh. Let me hear you guys. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Nora Tehilot Osefeh. Malchutecha ra'u banecha Bokei hayam l'ifnei Moshe Ze'eli anu be'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam ba'ed Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha neder b'kodesh Nora Tehilot Osef eleh V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov U'yalo me'at chazak mimenu Mi'at chazak mimenu Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi kamocha neder b'kodesh Nora Tehilot Osef eleh Osef eleh Osef eleh Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael.
Hashkivenu, page 45. Remember, it's in transliteration 2 on the opposite page.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chayim Ushmor tziteinu Uvoeinu L'chaim u'shalom Me'ata v'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu נו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים.
Page 46, we're going to rise together for Vishamru. Please rise.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל עוד היא לעולם עוד היא לעולם עוד היא לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת I rewrote the Torah too ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועלמא תברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבם מבורך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה בנחמתה תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו
The Amidah will begin silently, beginning page 47. Whether you choose to read the Hebrew or English or the private prayers and meditations of your heart, we turn now to the silent Amidah.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. נעלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, תבל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, תבל, ואמרו אמן.
Page 56 for Alenu.
עלינו לשבח לאדוננו, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצא לארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, ושכינתו זו, בגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו מלכנו, אמת מלכנו, אפס סולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשב אותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד, אין עוד, אל כן יקבל לך ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו,
You may be seated. At this time of memorial, we call in reverence the yortsites of those who have been gathered unto their people. On this Shabbat, we remember the souls and memories of Freema Aronson, Lillian Azus, Theodore Alper, Ann Leffler, Rose Bauer, Diane Baum, Marvin Berkman, Robert Block, Sarah Bushman, Ida Cohen, Aaron Stewart Dubin, Myrtle Feenberg, Harry Ferdman, Marilyn Fischler, Norm Frank, Kurt Frankfurter, Sally Gavinter, Marilyn Goldsmith, Goldie Goldstein, Beatrice Gordon, Helen Gottfert, Ronnie Greenberg, Minna Greenlinger, Donald Greiser, Henry Harrison, Milton Hart, Meyer Hockman, Harold Horwitz, Jacob Jabahari, Josh Kay, Rabbi Yisrael Klein, Irene Kleinberg, Goldie Kotzen, Florence Lutz Shear, Crystal, Charles Lipton, Ernest Loeb, Kate Malarut, Sanford Mosenson, Samuel Moss, William Nidvetsky, Cecilia Patent, Sandy Perlow, Dolores Plaster, Marie Prince, Tammy Perkin, Hilda Recht, Earl Rubin, Clara Rubenstein, Ida Sampson, Davud Sasson, Jenny Schaefer, Abraham Schwartz, Rose Serlin, Francis Shore, Sylvia Silvers, Serene Skuro, Aaron Studman, Eitan Temkin, Etta Vogel, Sarah Wenk, Irma Ziff, and Louis Zigman. Also mindful and saddened by the recent bereavement to the passing of Linda Ann Garrett, mother of Chris Paulette Schnitzer. For those reciting Kaddish, I invite you to rise at this time. And those of you at home, if you are there and you have the obligation to recite Morning's Kaddish, we invite you to rise with us. We will be your sacred community, your minyan, to recite these words of affirmation and connection. Those reciting the words of the Kaddish join together. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. Ma divrach Yeruteh v'yamlich malchuteh v'chayechon v'yamechon chayei dechol Beit Yisrael v'galav v'zman kariv v'meru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam umei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal. Shemeda Kudasha, Brichu, Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechmata, damiran be'alma v'meru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru, amen. May God establish His peace in the heavens, grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel, and all of humanity, as we say, amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. Debbie, are you coming up to do announcements? Yeah, would you like to? It's my pleasure to call forward our president, Debbie Schramm, to share some announcements. Do you have them? I have them if you don't. Yeah. Two pairs of glasses or no?
No, I'm good. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
And welcome to everyone who's here today and watching on live stream. This was the first one of our new Shabbat service, First Fridays, and I want to really thank our clergy, Rabbi Vogel and Chazan Stein, for putting this together, because we're never afraid to start something new. If you like the service, let us know. If you didn't like the service, you can let them know. And also, there's a dinner following this service, which there will be every month. The next one will be February 3rd, but you do need to RSVP in advance for dinners. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, we're back here for Shabbat morning services in the sanctuary. And this Sunday at 11 o'clock is Sacred Space Service, which is a monthly service led by Chazan Mimi, meditative and healing space of prayer and song. And you can download the prayer book on our website, and this service takes place on Zoom only. Next Friday night at 7 p.m., Fusion Shabbat service in person and online. And next week, Shabbat morning at 10 o'clock, we celebrate the bat mitzvah of Nicole Hurwitz, and Mazel Tov to Nicole and her family. A couple of other things coming up really quickly. This coming Thursday, January 12th at 7 o'clock on Zoom, we are joining with members of Greater Zion Church community and Pastor Michael Fisher, along with Rabbi Vogel, and we will have an interfaith discussion program, dialoguing to learn more about each other, and also I think we're talking about anti-Semitism and racism. Anti-Semitism and racism. Some light subjects. Right. It should be a really good discussion. We've had a couple of those before where we get to know each other. You do need to RSVP for that, which will be on Zoom, and you can do that by calling the office or emailing Kirby. And the 19th? Yeah, I was going to say, I've got a couple more. So the 19th is the first night of our Jewish Film Society, and actually an email went out this afternoon about that, so I won't say more. The 20th is our Interfaith Annual Service, and that should be wonderful. It's memorializing Martin Luther King, but also
Bringing communities together.
A lot of communities, right. And finally, January 28th is our gala where we're honoring Rabbi Vogel, and that will be also a casino night, and it's never too late to RSVP for that. We are thanking Rabbi Vogel for 30 years and counting of leadership. And so check out our website and RSVP for that. And as always, thank you for being a part of Aliyah's story. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Debbie. Does it feel like we're starting to get back? It does, doesn't it? We sent out an email that talked about save the dates. We're back in terms of having a retreat at Brandeis Bardeen again this year after a 3 or 4 year hiatus. So coming back as a community, and we just want to be able to share with you. We're going to, and we want to thank Kevin Ermia. We can't thank him enough for helping us, give us some rhythm tonight, and we hope you'll always come back. You know that. Hazan, what would you like to finish with?
Well, I think maybe we'll just go back to one of the pieces we did at the beginning, just to kind of reprise. What do you say?
This is up to you.
All right, the words are real easy. Let's go back to the Yedid Nefesh, which is so pretty. You ready? This is the real choir part, the chorus part. Da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach Shabbat Shalom.
Those of you joining us for dinner, we'll make our way into Leuven Hall, please.
You. Wow. Yeah.
One of the biggest services we've had in a while.
I know. So nice.
So far.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.